Days of calmer corona, but the movement is returning, and so is the X-ray production. The small rise in flaring thus far is due to the incoming active regions on the north, including the one that is cresting the limb now behind the big bright one. These will need to be monitored this weekend and into next week, as solar flares and CMEs are back on the menu here soon. But let's go back to yesterday. We showed NOAA's forecast from near the start of the day UTC, and it was for only 2s and 3s on the KP index. And at the bottom, below that chart full of 2s and 3s, is their explanation. They predicted no impacts either from CMEs or coronal hole streams. We strongly disagreed. The impact occurred and ramped up solar wind speed to nearly 600 kilometers per second after the perfect coronal hole signature dance between the density and plasma speed, yellow and purple. Now, folks, with that plasma speed, I won't fault Earth's geomagnetic field for entering into a low-level storm, even if the whack it took was a pretty big one for such a small stream and low-level geomagnetic effects. I won't fault NOAA for making a bad forecast, even though I spent hours trying to figure out where they thought the coronal hole stream had disappeared to. Couldn't figure that one out. But I will call out the NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center for their swift change of the forecast 12 hours later. I'm not calling out the recognition of the geomagnetic storm and they're putting the 5s on the chart. That's what they're supposed to do. But down at the bottom, NOAA, what do you mean anticipated impact of the coronal hole high-speed stream? Your previous forecast said no impacts expected and had KPs of 2 and 3 on the chart. Expected impact? It's a plain lie to try to make the bad forecast disappear, and it's a pathetic one. You're not going to get away with those bendijadas when observers are watching. Folks, let's get to some science here. The models of the cosmos continue breaking. That unexpected word comes up again as what we believed it took to make a spiral galaxy apparently was a bit overkill. The early